We have a bit of breaking news here because it has just been reported by PW Insider that a former WWE Women's Champion and Divas Champion is set to return to the company imminently. So if you do not want to be spoiled, we will give you about 10 seconds to click off of this video because this will contain spoilers and we will discuss the future possibilities of this person coming back to WWE. So if you don't want to be spoiled, you can click away now. Okay, so I think that's enough time for everyone to click away from the video if they didn't want to be spoiled, because this does contain spoilers. So Mike Johnson over at PW Insider is reporting that former WWE Women's Champion and WWE Divas Champion Melina Perez, yes, former Melina as part of M&M, former multiple-time Women's Champion and Divas Champion, has come to terms for a return to WWE. PW Insider has confirmed. There had been interest in Melina earlier this year by the company. They did attempt to book her for the 2020 Women's Royal Rumble, according to Johnson, but at the time she was under an agreement with NWA. That agreement has since expired. PW Insider has been told by multiple sources that Perez will be returning to WWE programming within the next week, so her return is imminent. She is going to be returning to WWE very, very quickly. There's no word on what brand she will be involved in, whether she'll be on Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown. I don't think she'll be going to NXT or anything like that. I think her return to the company will be on the main roster. Now, Melina was released by WWE back in August of 2011. She took some time off and began working regular independent dates back in 2015. She did make a cameo in July of last year as part of the Raw reunion on Monday Night Raw. That special episode of Monday Night Raw. So it's surprising. It's quite surprising. It's kind of come out of left field, this return to WWE by Melina. But if you've been a fan of the National Wrestling Alliance, if you've been watching the NWA, then you know that Melina was appearing regularly on NWA Power earlier this year. She was involved in the women's division. She had an alliance with the likes of Thunder Rosa in there, and it was heading towards Melina facing Thunder Rosa probably at the Crockett Cup all the way back in April, and of course due to COVID-19 that hasn't happened, so it would appear that Melina is going to be joining the WWE. She signed a contract with the WWE. Now, as far as people are saying, how is this possible? How is Melina able to return to WWE? She did have a contract with the NWA. Well, like I said, the contract with the NWA has recently expired, so that means she's obviously was free to negotiate with WWE. But also, the way you have to look at it is that the NWA contracts that people currently have has changed quite a lot recently, and Thunder Rosa, during an interview on Talk Is Jericho, basically confirmed this. She said that the contracts that they had with NWA changed at the start of the pandemic, because once the pandemic hit back in March and April time, NWA shut down their shows. They didn't do NWA Power episodes. Obviously, they was doing studio wrestling inside, so during the pandemic, that's just impossible to do. They were doing stuff on YouTube. That shut down when Dave Lagana resigned from the company. He was the vice president of the NWA due to the speaking out allegations against him. And basically, the NWA told everyone that was under contract, start taking bookings elsewhere. If you can, make some money. You're going to make less money from the NWA because you're not going to be working. If a talent wanted out of their contract, they would allow it. That's how the likes of Eddie Kingston and Zicky Dice got out of their contracts. And in some cases, they just expired. And that's the case here with Melina. She was a free agent briefly, and she's now signed to the WWE. As far as people suggesting, is this a good thing? Melina's 41. Look, Melina is a recognizable name in the world of WWE. She's a recognizable name. A lot of people know her, even though she hasn't been on TV in like 9 years in terms of WWE. Of course, she did have that cameo there. I think it's a great signing. I really do. And you've looked at the roster on Raw and SmackDown over the last few weeks, in my opinion, when it comes to female talent. And it's badly missing female names. Support for Wrestle News 365 is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Now, Manscaped, for all of my UK fans out there, Manscaped just launched in the UK. Over here in the United Kingdom, we have gone for years and years and years without using the right tools for the job. But now you can be one of the first men in England to experience their life-changing product. But it's not just limited to all of the great fans over here in the UK. This offer goes worldwide, so all of my friends over in America and around the world that are listening to this offer still does apply for you. You can still use our code. But I've got to tell you a quick story first. Now, there have been so many times, right? I'm a guy. You gotta groom down there, fellas, right? That's the most important thing. You gotta keep yourself trimmed. You gotta keep yourself proper. And a lot of the time, I've been guilty of this, of using the wrong tools for the job. I've had incidences, I'm not afraid to say it, where things have been nipped, snagged, or in fact cut down there because I wasn't being careful enough and using the right equipment. Now that just shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen. You don't want to be worrying about cutting yourself down there. Do you know how painful that is? I can tell you, it hurts quite a lot. And I wish and hope to God it never happens to me again, and it won't happen to me ever again because I'm using Manscaped products. That's why Manscaped has redesigned the electric trimmer. The Manscaped engineering team has perfected the greatest ball hair trimmer ever created. Big statement, but it's absolutely true. They have just released the new and improved Lawnmower 3.0 in the UK. It's also available around the world as well. Their third generation trimmer features a cutting edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents. So those cuts and snags that I was telling you about before are a thing of the past. And let me tell you, when I tell you this is premium, I mean premium. The battery will last up to 90 minutes so you can get a longer, perfect shave. And not only that, you don't want to be cutting yourself and trimming yourself all over the bathroom, getting hair all over the place. That's just disgusting. The lawnmower has a waterproof technology that allows you to groom in the shower, so no more mess. And one of the coolest features, one of my favorite features about the lawnmower is the LED light which illuminates grooming areas for a closer and more precise trimming experience. So you can shave longer, you can shave more precisely, and you can shave in the shower. What more did I need to tell you? They've also upgraded to a 7,000 RPM motor with quiet stroke technology, and let's not forget about the charging stand. You can show off your mower loud and proud because this intelligently designed stand is a convenient charging dock powered by USB. So, if you are listening to me speak right now, I want you to experience it firsthand for yourself. Let's get that bush to tush clean, and you can get 20% off and free shipping. Yeah, you heard me right there. 20% off and free shipping. All you have to do is use the code 365wrestle at manscaped.com. Make your testes their besties. That's 20% off and free shipping. Not only are you getting 20% off, you're getting free shipping as well with the code 365wrestle at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use the code 365wrestle. Your balls will thank you. Because I've said recently in quite a few videos about the lack of depth when it comes to female wrestlers on the likes of Monday Night Raw. For instance, two of the biggest stars, or three of the biggest stars, that WrestleMania 35 main event that they had between Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, and Ronda Rousey, that's impossible to do right now in WWE. And it can't be overstated how much of a big deal that is. Obviously, Becky Lynch is inactive. She's on maternity leave. Charlotte Flair, she's out. She had a surgical procedure and she's resting up on some injuries that she had. And Ronda Rousey's just not in WWE. She's taken a break, even though she kind of hinted that she's not done with the company. Basically, she's not returning full-time anyway. And at this point, there aren't many names on the roster when it comes to legitimate, well-known names. When you go to Monday Night Raw, you've got let's just count the active people that you have currently competing on Monday Night Raw. So you've got Asuka, of course, the Raw Women's Champion, Bianca Belair, Billie Kay, Lana, Liv Morgan, Mandy Rose, Mickie James, Natalya, Nia Jax, Peyton Royce, Ruby Riott, Shayna Baszler, and Selena Vega. So that's 13 names there. But some of those are involved in certain things, like Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, they're tag team champions, so they're involved in something. You've got the Riot Squad are involved in something else. So they need names. They need names. And I know people will say, well, what about NXT? Why can't they bring those names up? And of course they can, and they will. But I think it's important to say, look, if you've got someone like Melina out there, why wouldn't you bring them back? To me, it's a smart move. You look at SmackDown, I would probably say she's more likely to go to SmackDown than Monday Night Raw, because the SmackDown female roster is smaller than Raw. If you look at the active names right now, you've got Alexa Bliss, Bayley, Carmella, who's going to be coming back soon, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, Naomi, Nikki Cross, Sasha Banks, Tamina. They've got 9, and Sasha Banks, I would hope isn't going to be returning to action anytime soon. We know that she's going to be on Friday Night SmackDown tonight, but you would hope that she's not going to be returning to action anytime soon because she got the hell kicked out of her by Bayley a couple of weeks ago. And in my opinion, the SmackDown women's roster is really, really lacking at this point. I was quite critical last week that Clash of Champions, we're getting Bayley versus Nikki Cross again. And again, it's not a slight to Nikki Cross at all. I'm a big fan of Nikki Cross, a fellow Brit. I'm a fan of her work and I'm a fan of her character. And by all accounts, she's very, very well liked behind the scenes too. But the problem is that we've seen it. We've seen Nikki Cross versus Bayley. We've seen it a million times at this point. How often have we seen Nikki Cross and Bayley? We saw it at the Horror Show at Extreme Rules, and Nikki Cross lost. We saw it on a couple of SmackDowns prior, and Bayley beat Nikki Cross both times. And then we saw it on a rematch outside of the Horror Show at Extreme Rules, and she lost again. So when that was announced last week, and when Nikki Cross became the number 1 contender, I think everyone went, okay, but we've seen it. We've seen it happen before. And I think a lot of people were thinking, well, why haven't we had Naomi instead? But we haven't. So I think SmackDown would be a good position for her. Now, obviously, some people are going to say as well, why wouldn't Melina be involved in Retribution, right, on Monday Night Raw? And that is a possibility. That is a possibility. I think the whole point of Retribution right now on Monday Night Raw is that they are a group of people that have a bone to pick with WWE, right? Whether it's being held down or not getting the opportunities that they think that they deserve in WWE. So maybe Melina can be a part of that. Maybe Melina can be part of the people that said, I was released all these years ago and nobody called me, no one gave me an opportunity, and here I am, I've had to rejoin Retribution to get back involved. Maybe they can do that. That would be something interesting. I just think at this point, the SmackDown roster maybe needs her more, just because you've got obviously the feud, like I mentioned, you've got the feud between Sasha Banks and Bayley, and Nikki Cross is involved in there. But the underneath feuds in SmackDown, they're just non-existent. They're non-existent with that division. How many times have we seen Lacey Evans and Naomi face off, and every time Lacey Evans wins? Who else? We're going to have Tamina back in the SmackDown Women's Championship picture? No. And again, no slight to people like Dana Brooke and all that kind of stuff, but it's just not for me. And we know that Carmella is going to be returning soon, because I think she's going to be the SmackDown Mystery Woman. Spoilers. So maybe she can get involved with Melina. I'm not sure. I think that people will say, is Melina going to be the Mystery Woman on SmackDown? No, that's going to be Carmella too. But you look at the names here, and Alexa Bliss is probably going to be involved with Nikki Cross, Sasha Banks involved in Bayley, and what else have you got on SmackDown? You need more female talent on that show, I think. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited to see Melina return to WWE. I think it's a smart move. She's got experience. She's well known. She can still go in the ring. Why not? Why wouldn't you have bring her in if the opportunities there are available? And again, I know people will say, well, why don't you call up some of the NXT female wrestlers? That is going to happen soon. We know that a draft is happening soon in WWE. Whether or not NXT is involved in that, we'll have to wait and see. But I think it's a smart get. I really do. And who knows? Maybe Melina can come in and be the manager for The Miz and John Morrison, right? I don't know what the relationship is between Melina and John Morrison at this point. John Morrison, of course, is married to Taya Valkyrie, so I don't want to delve too much into people's personal lives or anything like that. But the point being that, like I said, it's surprising news. Didn't really see it coming. But I'm all for it. Why wouldn't you want someone with the credibility and someone who's a bit of a pioneer in WWE, right? Why wouldn't you want to have her back in WWE? It seems like a no-brainer to me. We've all been talking about how great it is to see Mickie James on Monday Night Raw and getting opportunities on Monday Night Raw. Now, I wouldn't say Melina's the same kind of wrestler as Mickie James, but she's a historical figure in the company and she's well known. So again, I don't have a problem with it. If anything, I like the idea of seeing someone from a previous generation face off against today's generation, right? That was cool about having Mickie James back, as you could have someone from that mid-2000s era face the current era, and that's the same with Melina here. So I'm excited for it. I think it's a good signing, and I'm interested to see where she lands next. But what are your thoughts, most importantly? It's just one man's opinion. opinion. What are your thoughts on Melina returning to WWE? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. I'll be sure to respond and reply to all of your comments. Really enjoy interacting with you guys. If you've enjoyed this video, please do smash a like on the like button as well. It really just helps out here on YouTube. But most importantly, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to Wrestle News 365. You can do that by clicking the bottom right hand corner of the screen right now, or if you wait a few seconds, there'll be a subscribe button at the end of this video along with another video for you to watch. Thank you very much for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon. Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.